Ready, set, go.
Is this thing on?
I can never get enough volume.
Can never.
There he is. I was
Amen.
wondering if he was going to remember this time.
Brother Heskett. First podcast in a long time without a guest.
Are you guys talking? I can't hear anything over this music.
Let me turn it down. Dude, now you do sound like a CHM preacher.
This rock and roll music.
It's the first episode in a long time that we haven't had a guest. So therefore,
It is.
I'm really not nervous tonight, which could be a good thing, could be a very, very bad thing.
No, it's
We'll
a good
see.
thing.
Yeah,
We're saying
I love guests. I do, especially when we have like good people on that's
Yes.
funny, know what to talk about stuff. But I'll tell you, it is so much more work and stress when you have guests.
It's kind of
Yes.
exhausting.
It can be, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm
thinking
not gonna lie.
that edit button's going to be on fire.
Well, I tell you what, so
heck yeah.
it is easier to edit guests
Yes,
because y'all behave.
you have to behave.
And then therefore I don't have to pay as much
Exactly.
attention to every single dang word.
Oh, man.
But
Well, yeah, because people are like, "Oh, just be yourself," whatever. But
No,
you
you
never,
can't.
you never really can be though, because like you just don't know, like you don't want to offend anybody, and like if something goes through an editing and they're like listening to it, like if they don't like it, then they can just turn it off, or or just be like, "I'm never listening to that again." But
yeah.
but when they're on with you, you're just like, you don't want to offend anybody, for sure in that moment. So
You can offend them behind their back, just not live.
yeah,
Exactly.
If meat offends my brother,
that's the CHM way.
yeah, we're just not going to eat meat. Like, if meat offends my brother, we just don't talk about certain things
Meat
with certain
offends my
people.
brother. I will throw it at
Exactly.
We eat it in
Yeah,
private.
I will. If meat offends my brother, I will pick it up and shove it in his face and say, "Here, you eat it too."
I was going to say something else. I'm going to shove it in his face.
Well, my mind was going there, but I thought, you know what?
He controlled himself.
It's just
You
too
did
early on in the
control yourself.
podcast.
I like it.
We're trying to keep it all good.
But yeah, when people tell us
For
to
the
just be
first 5
ourselves, yeah. When people tell us to just be ourselves, it's like I don't think you really want that.
Yes. And
say
I
then,
don't
it.
think you mean that.
I don't
They
think
don't mean that.
Yeah,
They
what does,
don't.
Do you
They-
know what that really means?
exactly. I was going to say, they don't
Well,
understand
you know
what that
who we
means.
are.
That's the thing. They don't understand exactly what that means. They're like, yeah, just be yourself. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Because when you get to
It's
know
true.
me, that's bad.
Right.
I will promise you, I promise you that, like, if you probably hung around me very long as me being comfortable and me being myself with, like, the 4 of us are, they wouldn't really I don't think they'd like it too much. I really
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Good point. And we can actually get to
some of the,
we can actually get to maybe a little bit of that later on. First of all, because I know Canaan, you're cutting out at 9, right?
yeah, I'll probably be able to.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll go ahead and we'll hit on this topic, Miss, and then me and you can finish up if
Okay. I don't care. Whatever you like.
on the second one. So we've had a run of, how should we put this?
Oh, my goodness.
Anti-CHM guests.
Yes.
That's not the way to say it.
Oh, yes.
'Cause I know some of them,
Successful anti-CHMers.
and that's just, how should we put this? Because some people get their feelings hurt.
Yes.
Not anti, just against. Well, that doesn't sound right neither.
As my dad says, holiness fighters.
Yes. So Missy's dad said we're getting known as
Yes, we are.
holiness fighters,
We are
I
known
think.
as
We
holiness
are
fighters,
fighters.
which is not even true at all. Let's just
Not
clarify
true.
that we are not
Not
fighting
true.
holiness, because the Bible does
No.
say, "Without holiness, no man shall see the Lord."
Right. We're just fighting your weird interpretation of holiness.
Yes, man-made
Question.
holiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are
Questioning man-made.
We are
Yeah,
questioning.
Yes.
We're not fighters. We're questioners.
questioning.
We've had some conversations off air now between me and you, Miss, me and you, and I've also heard that Mariah, me and you don't actually talk that much. This is
Well, I don't talk much to
We really
Canaan
don't.
either, so that's
No.
okay.
Me and Mariah fire off a text to one another once, roughly every 2
Like
months. I'd say.
randomly.
Yeah, randomly.
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
And but anyways, I heard that Mariah was also pretty hot about that.
Okay.
So we had the
I
one
want
with
to
Gerald
hear.
Buston.
I want to hear all this.
We had the podcast with Gerald Buston, and after he was done, Miss, me and you were pretty fired up, and we said some things that would probably make people mad. But
Yes, I was going to say, I think I said a few things that will probably tick some people off.
it's all right. I stand by them.
And I'm not sorry I said them.
Right. So, I heard that Mariah was pretty hot, and I just kind of wanted to turn it over to the Indiana side of things there, and just fly into this thing here.
Well, so it all started last night, and I'll let her go. But
No, you're good.
I just told her last night what you were telling me about, and if you want to edit the names out, we can, about what Mark Dodger said,
No,
how
let's
he
leave
could
him
not
in.
really do.
Let's leave him in this time.
How he really couldn't, and I didn't even see this post, but you were talking to me about it, and he was trying to wade into that problem, and then realized very quickly, if I'm understanding right, that he really had no backing. there was more with us than be with him, I guess you could say.
Which is typical for a CHMer.
Yeah, so it's there was no backing there or whatever. So I was just telling Mariah about that last night, like, hey, Phil was telling me about this and whatever, and then Mariah was just like, and then you can tell me, you said, about no man should really.
Mariah, do you want me to read his comments so that people know what we're talking about?
Do. Let's get a clear view of what he was saying.
It's
I'm not sure I even know what's going on here, so I'm new to this, so I'm gonna kind of get this brand new.
Okay, so this was posted by a guy named Gregory George. The title, it was kind of like an article that he wrote, "My wife wears pants, and this is why I'm okay with it." And I believe he is ex-CHM as well. And so then what Mariah is referencing was...
okay, so was he was in favor of this, right? Of his wife wearing pants?
Yes.
What were the comments? Was it like a 50-50 split? Were people more okay than not?
I would say it was way more than 50-50.
More people are okay?
More people were okay with it, yeah.
Okay.
And I want to say, too, before we really wade into this, like I have, no ill will towards, Brother Dodger. Brother Dodger, honestly, has always been really good to me and my family, and so I have no problem with him. But
that's not what you were telling me earlier, right before we started. I'm just kidding.
I
was going to say, Canaan, what do you really think?
No. You've told me this before, Canaan, that he's always treated you well and all that.
I have no problem. He's always been really good to my family and stuff. I have no problem with him whatsoever. But there's no problem here. But I think that it's kind of like there was that other guy too. I don't want to name names, but. When he was talking about that whole rock and roll thing, he just kind of, he gets on Facebook and then just pops off with something, and it's just and then all of a sudden when there's just a ton of, backlash or whatever, it's like, oh my, I did not come on here to argue. I did not come. So what you did was you came on here hoping that everybody would agree with you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And,
well, he even said as much to himself, because he was like, I was surprised. See how many Christians were supporting this. Remember he said that?
Because a bunch of us lit him up. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah. So, and I think that's... Now, you can kind of argue the same point as, Brother Dodger didn't actually create a post. He was just commenting to a post. But, I handle... There's a lot of stuff I see on Facebook anymore. But, man, I just don't comment. You know what I'm saying? It's just... I think it's just best not to. It'd almost be better to have that debate in person rather than for the whole world to see, and to see a bunch of back and forth bickering. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
I just feel like it's never smart to just go ahead and drop your opinions on Facebook and then let the dogs attack, I guess, as it were.
Yeah. But
he definitely waded into something here that I just don't feel like is as cut and dry as what they want to make it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Mariah, I'll go ahead and read this from Mark Dodger's comment, and then just wind you up and let you go, I guess.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you better not be holding back now.
Yeah, you better hold that back now.
Yes, I was going to say, you said you were ready to go. I want to hear this.
He's an angry yoke.
And for people that don't know, Mark Dodger is head of the ICHA. My wife doesn't wear pants, and this is why. The Bible says it is abomination for a woman to wear that which pertains to a man's clothing. I know there are different cultures, and we live in a culture that men wear pants. Also, God says that man is the head of woman. But the devil is out to twist man's thinking and break down the distinction between men and women. It seemingly starts with the attitude and the heart toward the authority of God and his plan for the home. It shows in the masculine look of a woman and the feminine look of a man, including cut or uncut hair, pant wearing, pants wearing, disrespect of the office of the man and honor of the woman. And my understanding of the scripture and the understanding of hundreds of years of God's holy people, there has and must be a distinction, respect, and honor of man and woman, husband and wife, male and female. Please don't listen to the lies of the devil when he told Eve, thou shalt not surely die. Another words, the devil's lies to this generation, is God doesn't mean what he says. Please pray and fast and search the scriptures before you make any lifestyle change. Mariah, go.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, why on God's green earth does an old man think he can talk about what women can wear and what women can't wear? When he's the one putting on hose and he's the one tying up his little bun and he's the one wearing his little skirt, then he can talk about what he wants to talk about. But until then, keep your dang mouth shut.
Canaan has his hand over his mouth. He's sitting there. Screenshot this. Screenshot that so good. I need that.
Please edit a lot of this.
No.
Yes. Man,
No,
I worked with Mark Godrill's nephew, which his nephew would probably agree because he is Nazarene. He does not see him.
No.
But
Canaan,
How many do I care about? How many? No.
We are totally going to use that as the picture for the episode.
Yes, that needs to be done.
Okay.
His comments aren't even biblical. His comment has no biblical basis whatsoever. He's twisting parts of the Bible to make it suit him.
It suits their agenda. Great.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the part that he talks about pertains to a man, that is in the Bible. But I would say that there is a huge difference between men and women's pants.
Well,
yes, there is. 100%. Sorry.
Yes. No, I was just going to agree with that because if you even look during the time that they were talking about this, where it says it is a shame, they were talking about cross-dressers.
Is that what they were talking about?
I'm pulling it up right here.
What you got? What's that off of?
Okay, so this is off of, and I'm free for debate. I love a good debate. Dividetheword.blog.
Dividetheword.blog.
Mm-hmm. And it says, a much contested topic is the difference between men and women's apparel or dress styles and how it applies to the New Testament believer. One of the hallmarks of the holiness movement, which began in the early 19th century, has carried many names since, is a strict conformity of laws and codes aimed at perfecting the saint to remove the potential for sin. Okay? The Word of God, of course, tells us this is quite impossible, removing the sin potential, but nevertheless, we try and we should. Isn't that interesting?
There's more that was commented on here. There was a friend of, I think a mutual friend of all ours, and he responded to Mark Daughtry. He said, why do you say pants are a man's clothing? Very good point. Very good point. Pants weren't invented at the time that passage in Deuteronomy, I believe it is, was written.
Right.
And Mark Daughtry responded, in all due respect, God doesn't change his word.
That is true.
I don't. That's not what this person asked. But anyways,
right?
You know, good old.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah, good old bait and switch. And this friend of ours responded to Mark Daughtry. Yes, but clothing has. Why in today's culture do you say pants that are made for women are men's clothing? Can I hit this? Can I hit that right there? Ding, dude. Abs-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
It goes on. Where's the rest of this? Because I started noticing some people getting quiet, if you know what I mean. Well, and so there were several other people also responding to Pastor Daughtry. Is he a pastor, Canaan?
He's a dude.
I'm not sure if he's pastoring or not.
Okay, so and so they were taking him to task for this, as they should.
Yeah.
And his response was, "I'm not interested in arguing because there are very few people that are helped and no winners. There's a difference between the moral law and ceremonial laws in the Old Testament. Please seek the Lord with all of your heart. Live close to the heart of God." And then somebody called him a hypocrite for some. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, but somebody did call him that. And he responded, "No hypocrisy on my part, just honesty, and love for you."
Wait, so why is he a hypocrite? Because he thinks that it's okay for women to
Why did they
wear
call
pants?
him a hypocrite?
Like that had nothing.
Somebody did call him a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me find.
And
this
I'm like,
here.
okay, so why?
I don't know if I don't think I agree with that.
That's
Somebody said no one likes to argue when their hypocrisy is pointed out. If we go on up here, what was they? Well, I'll just read this comment here. A woman named Britt. You want to quote Deuteronomy 22:5, but what about 6 verses later in 22:11 where it says not to wear clothes containing wool or linen? Let me hit that again.
yes.
I surely hope you've sifted through all of your clothes to make sure you abide by these rules. Can I say,
Yes.
heck, yes? This
That
is the
girl
same.
is yes.
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 This is the same type of argument they use against tattoos.
Remember? Okay. And for the divorce and remarriage thing, where they say it is unlawful for a man to put aside his wife for any reason.
No, they get that. They get that out of the New Testament.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, just same reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for divorce and remarriage. They only give part of that verse,
I see what you're
and
saying.
they don't want to give the rest of the verse.
Yes.
Someone said, get your bell ready.
Got it.
Someone said, if men controlled themselves instead of controlling women, this world would be a much better place for all of us.
Yes. Yes.
Top notch. Absolutely.
And one of our
Lots of good points.
one of our good listeners too brought this up, and I'm not going to mention her name, but she says the control on women and their clothing when we should be talking about the control of men
Yes.
keeping their bodies
Men.
in control.
Control yourselves, boys. It's not okay. There's times I get it. The old, a thing we was born with sometimes influences our thinking, but control it for gosh sakes.
Yes. And Phil,
Control the short sword.
the other one too, Phil, you said there was another one too where someone was arguing and saying like it was like the woman's fault because like she got raped.
I heard a
Tell me
holiness
about that.
preacher one
Yes.
time,
Explain that.
and he was preaching. I feel like I've told this on the podcast before, but I'll tell it again because
It
I
fits so good
despise
now.
this story so much that
Yes.
I'll say it again. And he was talking about how and he was presenting it as how terrible this was that a woman actually said, if I walk down the street naked, that doesn't give a man the right to rape me, and was saying it like that. And he's just like, isn't that terrible? Isn't that
was so
and I'm
awful for her to say that.
"Dude, that's freaking 100% correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't. It doesn't matter.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I literally hate feminism
Yes,
with all my heart. I hate it. I hate what they've turned it into.
Yeah.
I'll give you that too. Yes,
But
absolutely.
please, for the life of us, let's keep our cracks covered.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that, but I think the whole thing is though is like just because I see a naked woman walking down the street does not give me the right to yell surprise and jump on her.
Right.
Well, as long as you're
Right.
surprised.
It ain't rape to yell surprise.
Oh.
No, but no, like
No, I'm
like,
just kidding. No,
like
I know what you're saying.
I would have to,
Absolutely not.
I'd have to take at least one long glimpse because taking 2 glimpses is wrong. You just make the first one count.
Canaan, stop it.
No, I know what you're saying.
No, I'm just
but
joking.
also
But then,
saying,
but then I would have to walk away and be like, "Good night, Bill. Did you just see this? Come over and take a look at this."
And then you go for your second look, Canaan, because you're just trying to point out where she is.
I was trying to show it to
she
me.
went over there,
that's
Canaan.
great. That's great. Oh, man.
No.
but I do get what you're saying. There does need to be some modesty for sure. No, but
it's just like it's the whole
but I'm not.
that turns into the victim aspect though. Poor me.
I think it's 100% up to men. We are completely responsible for what we do or do not do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That ball
Yeah,
lands firm.
absolutely.
It doesn't matter if there's a woman walking naked down the street. I am in control. I am in charge of what I do.
Yeah.
I can either give over to whatever temptation I might have at that moment, or I could be a man and get the heck out of there and, not play that game.
Yeah.
But that's all
Or
up to me.
be a man and go ask pretty please.
I can also do that. I mean, there's several options here.
There are several options. I mean, she's naked for crying out loud.
You can even give her money, Canaan. You can even give her money.
Does she take card? That's the question. No, I mean, like, but there is so many times. I mean, I've even heard my own family members, be like, well, it's kind of asking for it, being dressed like that. It's like you're asking, you're asking for me to be extremely tempted, not for me to rape you.
Well, and to me, do you know what a woman is asking for it? It's when she literally asks for it. When she's like, hey, would you like to go lay down with me? Right. That's when, yes. Any other time, it's your fault. Like, it's up to you guys.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly
true.
right.
Trust me, the law will agree with us on this.
Just control yourselves on both sides.
Exactly right.
Just control yourself.
Control
yourself and not walk down the street naked, and control yourself to keep your dick in your pants.
We were never taught that self-control part.
No, gosh, no.
It's literally in all aspects of life. And the self-control that CHM never teaches you.
So many things, man. Music, movies. I mean,
money.
Yes.
Actions. Your attitude.
Alcohol. I mean, it all.
Smoking, marijuana. You just control yourself.
Biking and Percocet.
Oh, Lord. Well, this one off the rails.
Cocaine.
Moderation, my friends.
Everything in moderation? No.
Oh, Lord.
We have gone off the edge here.
Somewhere back through there, but
we have gone off the bridge.
So what we're seeing here, yes, because later on, an account for a holiness preacher, I think it is his wife, and I won't disparage her, but they also responded to basically chip in behind, because Mark Dodrell was getting quite a bit of flack, and they pretty much responded. If I could find it, yeah, rightfully so, absolutely. And I didn't finish the comment about the hypocrisy. The lady had several good comments, but I'm not sure I'm calling him a hypocrite on this, but she did call him out on several things. Who
was she calling a hypocrite?
She was calling Mark Dodrell that. I haven't read enough to call him a hypocrite. Let me just be clear on that, but I think he's wrong. I think he's completely wrong.
I thought she was calling the hypocrite.
Well, I think she tagged Dodrell in it.
Yeah, she was calling Dodrell.
Hypocrite. That's kind of like, that's a very.
I mean, that would be like if he was.
That's a low blow.
If he was saying this whole post and then his wife was wearing pants, that's a hypocrite.
Yeah,
yes.
Let's get our definitions correct.
Yeah, that would be
stupid. Yes, ignorant. Yes, dumb. Yes, but. He's not a hypocrite.
So, Mariah, give me your thoughts on this. Okay, so what he just said, obviously, we caught.
Haven't we heard enough of those thoughts?
No.
Really, I just want to see Canaan get nervous again.
Understand.
We're tagging this as Mariah's thoughts. Mariah's thoughts.
But I do want to try to be better though than they are. Not that I am better than they are, but I want to.
You're really trying to call yourself a better person.
I just want to. I want to.
I said it in love.
I don't want to. Oh my goodness, that was anything but love.
She's tough love. She's tough. She's tough. Love.
The more of these comments I'm reading, the madder I'm getting. Okay, can I read that?
Let's keep on going. Let's go.
No, I legit have to get off of it because it's starting to really.
I'm going to have to at some point because yes, it off as well. So somebody replied to Mark Dodrell saying, "Remain strong in the convictions like this the Lord has laid upon your heart and life."
Convictions. Personal convictions.
Right. That's not even Bible. Convictions. Yes. Yep. That's yeah.
So not biblical verse. Let's not keep this biblical verse that you have. No. Let's make this a conviction that you're going to cast out on everyone, and anyone who doesn't agree with you is going to hell.
Everybody has to abide by your
exactly right. This kind of stuff, and he says, having convictions that differ from the world, especially when it's in the area of obvious gender distinctions, is still a virtue. I'm sorry if any comment. Listen. Yeah, go ahead.
No, let me just point out something right there. You mean to tell me that if I'm walking down the street, not me, because obviously I'm thick right now, but you see a girl walking down the street and her pants and her little shirt and her little flip-flops and her hair's flopping and her little, tushy's waggling, you don't think that you can't tell the difference between a man and a woman right there?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Right. Did I answer that too quickly?
Right. No, it's true. And that goes back to the post that I had talking about cross-dressers. When people are trying to be a gender that they are not born. That's exactly what they were talking about.
Here's my point on this kind of thing. So let's say that Paul did not mean what he said, no longer under the law. let's say he was just kidding, and that passage in Deuteronomy actually applies, which I think the New Testament does show that there should be distinctions between a man and a woman. Okay, so maybe I just shut down my own argument there. But anyway, so let's just say we go by what they said. If I was to go put on a pair of women's pants right now, how freaking obvious would that be?
Yeah, totally.
Phil, you don't have the curves for women's pants.
Oh, there's some curves up under here. There's way too many curves up under. I got like Kim Kardashian, you know what I'm saying? But no, if I went and put on a pair of women's pants, I would look like a fat Steven Tyler impersonator. Like everybody would know. They'd be like, Phil, why do you have on a pair of women's pants?
Yes.
They're that distinct.
Yes. And may I go as far as saying like skinny jeans are a little strange? Yes.
Well, they are for sure. I remember when I was younger.
Unless they're leather.
I used to like those, and I really don't know. But I was going through like that punker rock state, you know.
I went through it with you. Yeah.
It's
kind of hot.
Nah, it didn't feel. Yeah, it was hot. I was very warm in those. very uncomfortable.
There was a guy. Let me just put it this way. There was a guy that I used to work with. I deeply hope he doesn't listen to this podcast.
Uh-oh.
And this old boy filled out his jeans in such a way that if you didn't know
what gender he was,
and you caught him bending over,
oh yeah,
you'd be like, we got us a new gal working here. Like he had that guy. And in fact,
He's got her tickled.
Dude, that's hilarious.
The old boy was thick. Let me put it that way.
He was thick.
He was thick.
Thick.
So, I want to be clear. I never did this. However, I just want to throw that out there. I don't want to be caught dead. But there was one of the guys we work with. When the first time they seen him, he was bending over, or they saw him from the back, and they were like, "We got a chick working here now."
Yeah. And then when he stands up, you're like.
All of a sudden he turns around and we're like, James, what are you doing?
That's disappointing.
You ruined my day. Yes.
Because all of a sudden you realize you were looking at a guy's butt and being like,
Oh, that is so awful.
Dude, that's the gayest thing I ever heard, man. So I guess you could take the approach like if it fits, it will cover, and if it covers, it's going to fit. I mean, right?
I guess so.
And that's where then modesty, I believe, would come in there.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that right there illustrates that when we see a dude who's been rather gifted in the caboose in a pair of tight pants, we all think he looks feminine.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. That's because women can look feminine in a pair of pants.
From behind, they look,
or from any direction. No, this guy here is just from behind. But you had to see him from behind. But
anyways, you were going to read some more. I want to hear some more.
What was I going to read?
Yes, you were going to read more comments.
This guy was cheering on the CHM position. Remain strong in the convictions. I'm sorry if any comments have marginalized your commitment to God. True spiritual maturity is having convictions and preferences, all the while respecting those who possess different convictions and preferences. I love you and your wife. Please never change. What the guy just said, does that sound like he's respecting?
He's talking to Mark Dodrell, right?
Yes, he is.
And someone else was commenting on him. Okay. That was a good comment, though. You still, you can have your own personal convictions.
What about what he just said, though? For one thing, true spiritual maturity is having convictions and preferences? What? True spiritual maturity is doing what the Bible says to do, not coming up with your own harebrained ideas.
Yeah. It sounds like to me what we got a case of is.
And here's what struck me.
Was that over the line?
Yeah.
Here's what struck me as well, was that most of the CHM people that replied and showed that they were on Mark Dodrell's side, never once did they make any compelling points. It was all, yes, Brother Dodrell, stand up for what's right. And we're all standing there like, tell us why it's right, dang it.
Yeah.
But they can't. They can't. Because when they come on...
They can't argue it.
Exactly.
he's doing the best job of defending it. They have absolutely no idea.
No.
So they're just like, keep preaching, Brother Dodger. What you're saying sounds halfway decent.
Yes, sounds good to us.
And it goes along with everything we've been taught too. So like, instead of getting their noses chopped off or for fear of being ridiculed for standing up for what they believe, they go along with what they've been taught. You know,
absolutely.
And that's what scares me. We were talking about this for the holiness movement.
It should.
It's easier for people just to go along with what someone has said than to actually have a individual thought, like a own personal thought. But we don't do that anymore.
No.
They don't.
They don't. I mean, we do, but you know what I mean, as a CHMer.
And could I say too that like I'll even kind of give maybe the benefit of the doubt a little bit here.
There's no benefit.
So like down home where I came from in that area, it was very a lot of the stuff that they preached and stuff was not like intentional, like aimed to like be harmful. Like basically they were just teaching what they had always taught. They never tried to
study for themselves,
to hurt anybody. They never tried to, anything like that. But I do believe there is some people that they just blindly follow, whatever.
Yes.
And then but I do believe then you do have some people that are intentional and do just try to push their own agenda and try to, you know what
that was intentional. His comment was intentional. It was saying
but I'm just saying like a lot of those people, I think they may not really mean to try to hurt and be like judgmental and whatever, but they're just kind of going with what they've always been taught, what they've all, what they know, what is comfortable to them, then in other circumstances, I think that, they are intentional, they do just want their own agenda, it's either their way or the highway. So,
well, and here's what I also think about that, Canaan. Intention really means nothing. If you're doing something wrong, then you're doing it wrong. I don't care what your intention was. And this is just my thoughts.
Well, I agree with what you're saying there. Yeah.
Well, then you have also Paul, who thought he was doing the best thing ever.
Yes.
Paul thought he was worshiping God and doing exactly what God wanted him to do and killing the Christians.
Now, I don't think Mark Dodger was killing any Christians.
We know of.
Is he though? Is he though? I was going to say, spiritually, he's killing young Christians in Christ.
Oh, good point.
Think about it.
What if he is? In the long run, because so many people want to stray away from what he's been preaching under, and he's caused their heart to harden. He's caused them to turn away from God. He's caused them not to care or have relationships with Jesus. So yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he's going to be held accountable for that.
I think that goes back to the whole, what I said earlier about it being on Facebook. Like, it's just not the place to get into a spiritual debate because you have so many young, impressionable people that are probably already struggling spiritually. I'm just saying they're already struggling spiritually. Now that they're crossing paths with this on Facebook, reading this, and they're like, "Oh, holy crap!" Like they are like that. They are a bunch of weirdos. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just
Well,
Facebook,
a lot of them are though, Canaan. That's the thing. Even though, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mariah.
I don't remember now. Dang it. It's fine. Go ahead.
It must have been of the Lord.
Yeah, the Lord's telling you to shut up because it was probably a lie. Well, that's what they say. If you forget, it's a lie.
I think you all are onto something here, Miss, you and Mariah. If we really want to get plain about it, this is exactly how I feel.
Yes, because he had no biblical foundation for what he was saying.
Exactly right.
Okay, if he had biblical stuff to back it up, and I'm looking at biblical stuff right now on this article, and I've been waiting to say it. Okay, and this is what the Bible says: "Neither shall the valiant warrior put on fine, delicate, and pretty clothing and jewelry to make himself appear as a woman." Okay, most interestingly, that's a Bible version. I don't know which one it is, but anyways. Most interestingly, some commentaries explain that men would dress as women to escape capture or harm, and that cross-dressing was used in pagan rituals to gods such as Venus and Ashtoreth. I think it's Ashtoreth. This would also require the man to use a face covering or shave to ensure that he looked a lot less like a man. So that goes along with the whole cross-dressing thing.
So it sounds like you're talking about cross-dressing.
For the woman's apparel, it was normal for women to have jewelry. It was actually part of the women's apparel.
Oh, yeah. That's a complete... You're exactly right. They're even weaker on jewelry than they are on this.
Yeah. So, anyways.
This is the kind of crap that winds up causing people to stumble because it's an extra burden that is placed on them that's not biblical.
Right.
And even as much as Mark Dodrell might be sincere, and I believe he's, as far as I know, he's a fellow brother in Christ, but he's wrong. He's wrong.
Yeah.
He is completely 100% wrong.
Yeah.
When you have a new convert and you begin to shove this kind of stuff on them that's not used to it, yeah, it can cause them to just duck out.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to Canaan's like shouldn't be on Facebook thing. And I know what you're saying and I agree with you. I do. But also we have to know that we're not alone.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
Well, I wasn't saying like it doesn't.
I know what you're saying. No. I know.
But I am saying like
There are some things that should not be on Facebook.
Well, no, I'm saying that like I'm really agreeing with you guys. Is like it really shouldn't have been discussed. He shouldn't have been commenting on this on Facebook because you're going to have people that are, young in their faith.
Mm-hmm.
Those are still hurt.
Those are still hurt, been chewed up and spit out by the CHM, that are going to look at that now and be like, oh, yep, they're the same exact way they always were.
Well,
like
they
haven't
changed.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like it was very harmful to put that out on Facebook.
Yes, and I know what you're saying. Yes. Nope, I agree with you.
And the thing of it is, though, a lot of people are afraid to say something. So if they're going to say something, they will either, one, put it way out there on Facebook where everybody can see the comments, everybody can see what the point was made. That way, if you change anything, you'll be like, oh, he went through there and deleted his comments because he knew he was wrong. Like, I see your point, but I also feel like sometimes they're afraid to ask. So when they do it publicly on Facebook like they are, they're kind of backing themselves up because it's out in the open. We should be asking the questions. We should be out there saying, hey, this is wrong.
Yes.
I have a question about this. And if we're not, we're going to be like that young gentleman who messaged my husband was saying, this is the first time I've ever been able to ask this without being yelled at. That is terrible. Right. So we're going on both sides of this extremes here. And while I agree that we should be controlling and should be what we have to say and be in control of ourselves, I also think that having the freedom of Facebook can also be very good for someone who's asking these questions.
And I mean, at least he defended his wife. He didn't defend her, but I mean, he spoke out for her.
Yes.
How many husbands are out there defending their wives?
Exactly right.
Good
point.
I got a question. Why was that? Why did he write this exactly?
I don't know, but it's beautiful. You should read it.
It is, but it'd almost be like me being like, the reason I would like it.
Oh, dang. Oh, no.
Now I'm laughing.
Nobody else is, though.
There's rhinestones on that one, too, isn't there?
Nobody else is,
I haven't read it. I don't know anything about it.
Canaan, what you and Mariah do in private is your business. Let me just say that.
But also, dude, you're dealing with a pregnant woman. I would be very, very careful how I choose my words. You effectively just said, Canaan, this man's standing up for his wife. Why would he do such a darn thing?
No.
Remember this.
No.
It's literally because he knows that that's one of my love languages, and he does absolutely nothing about it.
I just don't post on Facebook. I'm not a poster of Facebook.
You should just post on there right now and attack Mark Dodrell and then just say, love you, Mariah, at the very end of it.
Yes, there you go. Be like, I support my wife.
Hey,
love language complete.
At least it be something. Something's better than nothing.
Dude, if you do that, I'll pay you $50.
Okay. See, that brings on another I want to have another conversation.
I'm tempted, bro.
I seriously
love me some $50.
I seriously want to have a conversation where we talk about like love languages and stuff like that. Because like Canaan said, he doesn't post stuff on Facebook. Okay. So Mariah's hey, I want you to post a picture of me, like how you think I'm beautiful and like how proud you am of like all these little things.
He doesn't have one picture of me on his phone.
What?
That he's taken.
Most of them are nude. I do. No, it isn't. I just don't post on Facebook and stuff, and I just try to. I try to let her know that I care for her without posting on there.
No, I've come to terms with it.
Post on there, bro. Post on there.
No,
It'll help.
I don't have a problem with this, guys. I really don't. I just thought that was kind of funny because I don't know. We've talked about this before a lot, and like previous podcast, like the whole posting on Facebook. It's just almost like, look at me and what I have done.
Because God forbid you want to show off your wife.
Well, I do when I take it to Walmart on South Side.
Exactly.
You're not helping yourself.
You
dude.
are digging yourself into a big trench.
The best thing you can do right now, and everybody can go find Canaan. He is on Facebook and see if he's done this yet. Best thing
Make
you
it
can
a public post.
Is just find a picture of your wife. Actually, take one so that you can say you've
Yes, take one.
nudity. None of that.
Okay.
Wait. No. Okay, so Mariah, the pictures that whenever you're like posing because you got your little baby bump going on, Canaan hasn't taken those pictures?
Jack takes them. Jackson takes them.
I was trying to be so helpful.
Dude.
I have taken a couple of them, doggone it.
Oh,
You
no.
took the one after the Lancaster Festival.
And I took the one outside here.
No, Jack did.
No, Jack. I took the first one, then Jack said he wanted to take one of you.
You need
So
to find
I've
one
done
that you've
two of
took, and you need to post that along with a very long, very mushy,
Yes.
in-depth.
Yes, Song of
comment from
Solomon.
yourself.
A Song
I
of
don't even have
Solomon.
enough words. Like I start like writing something out.
You're really not helping yourself.
I'm like, oh crap, how do I say this?
That's why the Song of Solomon had so many wives. He was so good with
Just
his
take
words.
a quote from the Song of Solomon.
Yes.
Or like
Your eyes are like dove's eyes. Like they're
Yes.
red and
where he
beady.
talks about the
Your
breasts.
breasts are like twin towers.